as well as a phenomenal card with Charles Oliveira getting one of the most dominant victories I've seen in quite a long time. We got the White House card finally. We've got 6 fights starting from the top. Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. Really no surprise here to me personally. I figured this was going to be on there. We have the American challenger against Ilia Topuria. And a lot of people commenting on the fact that oh, Justin's gonna get knocked out, this and that. And probably he might get knocked out, yeah. But imagine if he doesn't. Like, that's what this whole thing is built on, is Americans coming up as underdogs and winning. And like I said, it's unlikely that Justin does win, but if he does, it'll be one of the all-time great moments in sports in general, in culture in general. So, I mean, personally, whether or not Ilia Topuria knocks him out right away, I'm excited for that fight. But I think Justin might have a trick up his sleeve. Moving down though, Alex Pereira taking on Ciryl Gane for the interim heavyweight championship. Tom Aspinall out hurt. I'm a little annoyed, honestly, that this isn't just the heavyweight belt and Tom Aspinall doesn't have to just vacate, but we'll take it. I mean, I think this is a giant fight. I think this is one of the top 5 biggest fights the UFC can make right now in general. Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane. Yeah, I'm stoked on this, to say the least. I think Alex Pereira is gonna fucking shut his lights out quick. Truthfully, I think he will shut his lights out real quick. I think that we'll see a big skill discrepancy from someone who used to fight at middleweight moving up to heavyweight. I think Alex Pereira will be faster and hit just as hard and just be way more technical in general. Sean O'Malley versus Ayman Zahabi. This is where it starts going downhill a little bit. I'm not super against this fight. I like having Sean O'Malley on the card, but I just think he's gonna piece Ayman Zahabi up. I don't think Ayman Zahabi is actually that good. I think he's quite overrated. So I think realistically, he'll make it look easy against Ayman Zahabi. But it's a solid fight all the same. American fighter and Sean O'Malley, a really big name, out of a time where we don't really have that many big American names. But I'd say he's absolutely up there with being one of them. And he put on a good performance in his last fight against Song Yadong, so it's good to have him on the card here. Mauricio Rufi versus Michael Chandler. This wasn't a weird one. I honestly thought, you get the Brazilian Conor McGregor and Mauricio Rufi, so I guess he kind of gets what he wanted. But either way, you can never really be that mad about Michael Chandler being on a card. You can never get, like I said, that mad about Michael Chandler being on the card. Taking on Mauricio Rufi, who just had a phenomenal performance in his last fight. Now he's fighting down in the rankings, but it's a big name either way, so they kind of just had to make it happen. But I really do see Mauricio Rufi piecing Michael Chandler up. I don't think this fight would be close. If we saw what Paddy Pimblett was able to do with his not so clean striking, he's not a bad striker, but he's not a striker like Mauricio Rufi, who can just pick you apart all over. I don't think this will bode too well for Michael Chandler, but we'll see. A fun fight all the same. Michael Chandler will be there to promote it. He's a big name, even though he's on the back end of his career and has not looked good any sort of good recently. Still a big name on there. Can pull something off possibly, but I really don't see it. I see Mauricio Rufi beating him pretty competently. I think the betting odds there will be quite wide. And then maybe the weirdest fight in the card, in a way, kind of, is Bo Nickal versus Kyle Dawkins. I mean, truthfully, I think it's a really good fight. I think Kyle Dawkins is very good. He's had a 4-fight win streak right now. He's looked really, really good recently. Bo Nickal with that flatline KO against Rodolfo Vieira in his last fight, head kick. This is good. We could see some really good grappling exchanges. Kyle Dawkins has really good BJJ. They call him the Darce Knight. So I think we could see some really good grappling exchanges here. But they're also both, their striking has, both of them, their striking has improved a lot. I think we could see some good exchanges here. And truthfully, I don't know who I'd lean towards yet on that fight. I don't have a prediction for that one yet. But and then the last fight on the Freedom 250, they're calling it Freedom 250 card. The last fight is Diego Lopes versus Steve Garcia, and honestly, in a way, I think this might be the best fight on their card, if that makes sense. Like, actually skill for skill, like matchup wise, I think this might be the best matchup on the card. Diego Lopes, he's lost to Volk twice, but he's been beating everyone else in the featherweight division. Bijan Silva, who's looked dominant against everyone else. Steve Garcia, I mean, we know about him. We know his game plan is to just knock your head off. But he's also a really technical striker at the same time. I think this could get interesting. I think Diego Lopes might want to, I think he's very much capable of striking with Steve Garcia, but I don't think he really needs to. I think he could push the grappling. But, yeah, I think that matchup-wise is likely the best actual fight on the card. But going through predictions top to bottom, who I'm leaning towards right now to win each fight, I'd have to say Ilia Topuria. I have to lean him. As much as I want to be like, Justin can pull it off, I got to stop picking against Ilia because it doesn't look good every time. Alex Pereira, I really actually am pretty confident in that. Sean O'Malley, also pretty confident in that. I think he'll piece up Iman Zahabi. Mauricio Rufy, pretty confident there. I don't think Michael Chandler has it anymore. I think, he can maybe catch Mauricio Rufy, but I really just think Mauricio Rufy's footwork is good enough to just outclass Michael Chandler pretty confidently. Bo Nickal versus Kyle Dawkins. Like I said, I cannot even give a prediction here. I'd have to, look back and watch some fights over again. A lot of the time I don't really have to look back and rewatch fights because I just have, watch them all. But I have to go watch some stuff. And then, I think I have to ride with Diego Lopes. I think as an actual MMA fighter, I think he's more competent everywhere. But, Steve Garcia, like I was saying before, he has that one-shot knockout power where he can just switch your lights out. And that's game anywhere, obviously. But, I really do see a lot of people be like, oh, this is disappointing. I don't know what you thought we were getting. We have Alex Pereira in a co-main event. This is pretty good to me. I think the Bo Nickal versus Kyle Dawkins is a little bit disappointing. I think there was supposed to be a seventh fight on here. Supposed to be something else. I really don't know what it is. I know it wasn't supposed to be Amanda versus Kayla because I saw Amanda Nunes posted it on Twitter saying maybe Kayla still, or Kayla can get ready. So, damn. We'll see though. I'm pretty happy with this. I think overall, it's obviously a 6-fight card, which we weren't expecting a full card, but if I had to give a rating out of 10, I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10 for my expectations personally. I'm pretty happy with this. Holy. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this overall. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and give me your predictions for at least a couple of them. Who you think's gonna win? I'm kind of curious, especially about that Bo Nickal, Kyle Dawkins. But even the Alex Pereira Ciryl Gane could go either way. So let me know who you guys think is gonna win. Leave a comment down below, and appreciate you guys. Subscribe. Got more videos coming out soon this week, and I hope you guys had a good night watching the fights. And these guys are as stoked as me for Charles winning. But yeah, peace.